Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for Wlbt Plus. My name is Kara Shirley. I'm your digital news desk host. It is Monday, April the 28th, the very last day of April. Fixing to move into the month of May. We do have some breaking news for you that just came out just a little while ago, where a Jxn High School, Jxn Hill High School here in Jackson, was placed on lockdown due to shots fired outside of the school. No shots were fired inside the school. Now, if you're not familiar with where Jxn High School is, I got it pulled up on the map for you. I'm going to show you. So we have Highway 80 right here. The triangle is where Jxn Hill High School is. If we zoom out so you can see where it is in relation to approximately downtown Jackson. So here's Jackson, and right here is Jxn Hill High School. We did have our crews out there on the scene earlier. Holly Emery was out there, and we are going to hear from Holly and what she witnessed earlier while she was out there at the high school.
We're here outside of Jxn Hill High School after there were reported shots fired just outside of the school. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see the current scene in the area. Now, employees and parents in the area say that the shots came from down on the other side of Jxn Hill High School, which is near their ROTC building. As you can see, there are several different law enforcement agencies on scene, including Jackson Police, Capitol Police, as well as JPS School District Security, including AMR, which was here earlier. However, it did not look as though anyone was inside of that vehicle. Sherwin Johnson with the Jackson Public School District says the entire school is on lockdown due to an external threat. There are no injuries because of the shooting, and the entire school, again, is on lockdown. So none of these parents that are sitting out here will be able to get their kids out until the lockdown has been released. Now, this has been called a temporary lockdown right now, and we're still working to get more details on what actually happened outside of Jxn Hill High School. But again, no injuries to report at this time, but we will continue to keep you updated with any details that we learn throughout the day. That's very latest from here outside of Jxn Hill High School. Holly Emery, 3 on your side. Ashley.
Again, so that was Holly Emery outside of Jxn Hill High School. So a message or an email was sent out to all of the parents from the Jackson Public School System, and it said, out of an abundance of caution, Jxn Hill High School has been temporarily placed on a lockdown due to an external threat. During a lockdown, no students will be dismissed, and all students and staff are safe inside of their classrooms. They also stated there were no injuries associated with the lockdown, despite there being some reports circulating on social media that there were injuries. So they, at the time that the email was sent out, they said they do anticipate the lockdown being lifted shortly, and will provide more information once an investigation is complete. So at this time, as far as we have been updated here from the school system, it is still on lockdown. Jxn Hill High School is still on lockdown. Thankfully, though, there are no injuries to report there. So no injuries of anyone being shot. The shots did not occur inside of the school. The shots happened outside of the school. And of course, we're working to get more information on exactly what the shooting was. Where did it happen exactly? What was it about? Who was involved in it? But one thing that we do know for sure is that it is none of the students nor the staff of the high school have been injured, have received any injuries in this, and it happened outside of the high school. So that is what the update right now. I see your comment, Latasha, said that you did not get that. So the Jackson Public School System, in the email that they sent us, they also let us know that the information was shared with parents of the school through an internal messaging platform. So through their internal messaging platform. So if you did not receive that message, you might want to check with the school to make sure that you have the correct platforms to receive the messages from them. However, I would probably wait until after the lockdown is lifted, but I can certainly understand how that would put a little bit of terror in you, and you've learned that the school is on lockdown when you haven't received the information from the school. Pat Brown asking if everyone is safe there, and yes, Pat, as far as what we have been told was been reported to us from the Jackson Public School District, all of the students, all of the staff, they are safe. They are in their classrooms. The school will remain on lockdown temporarily, and then once that lockdown is lifted, parents will be able to then get their children. Kimmy White says the general email that they send through Active Parent. All right. Thank you so much for that, Kimmy. But yeah, that is what they sent to us as well. Renee is asking, what school is this? Renee, it is Jim Hill High School here in Jackson. Let me pull the map back up for you guys so you can see it. So where the triangle is, this is Jim Hill High School right here. We have Highway 80 right along here. This is Belvedere Drive right here, I-20, just below Highway 80. And if we will look where it is in relation to approximately downtown Jackson, again, the triangle is Jim Hill High School, and this is downtown Jackson, just to kind of give you a reference point of where it is. But again, thankfully, everyone is safe and there are no injuries being reported. We are keeping an eye on it. We are still there waiting to hear back, trying to get any updates. And if and when we get those updates, we will send those out through our news app, breaking news updates, which you can always download the Wlbt news app in your app store so that you can get those breaking news updates. So that is what we have happening right now. I see a lot of people coming in kind of late to this, but that's fine. So Jackie Breeze is asking what's happening. Jackie, what we have had happen is a shooting was reported outside of Jim Hill High School here in Jackson. Because of that shooting happening, the school system placed the high school on a lockdown. As they stated, it was out of an abundance of caution that it was temporarily placed on a lockdown. It is still currently on lockdown right now. That lockdown has not been lifted, but they said that no students will be dismissed and all the students and staff are safe inside of their classrooms. Again, we were out there earlier. Holly Emery was outside of the school a little earlier. And since we have some of you guys that are joining in, especially on our social platforms a little late, I'm going to play for you again what Holly reported just earlier. I mean, less than 30 minutes ago when she was out there. Here is Holly Emery again.
We're here outside of Jim Hill High School after there were reported shots fired just outside of the school. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see the current scene in the area. Now, employees and parents in the area say that the shots came from down on the other side of Jim Hill High School, which is near their ROTC building. As you can see, there are several different law enforcement agencies on scene, including Jackson Police, Capitol Police, as well as JPS School District Security, including AMR, which was here earlier. However, it did not look as though anyone was inside of that vehicle. Sherwin Johnson with the Jackson Public School District says the entire school is on lockdown due to an external threat. There are no injuries because of the shooting, and the entire school, again, is on lockdown. So none of these parents that are sitting out here will be able to get their kids out until the lockdown has been released. Now, this has been called a temporary lockdown right now, and we're still working to get more details on what actually happened outside of Jim Hill High School. But again, no injuries to report at this time, but we will continue to keep you updated with any details that we learn throughout the day. That's very latest from here outside of Jim Hill High School. Holly Emery, 3 on your side.
And again, so there we have it from Holly Emery. She was out there, and that was, like I said, less than 30 minutes ago. At this time, the school is still on lockdown. And I have my email up here checking constantly so that if we get an update from the school that the lockdown has been lifted, I can let you guys know that. But at this time, it looks like that the school is still on lockdown. However, there are no injuries to any of the children, to any of the staff. They are all safe inside their classrooms. So that is good news. And for the parents that had to get that text message, my heart goes out to you, because I can imagine that being a very terrifying email or text to have received, knowing that even just that it was placed on lockdown. I know that had to be terrifying for you guys, but we will keep you updated on the status of that. As soon as we get the information into here, we're going to pass it along to you guys. We do have some other news information to get to. We're going to jump into right now, and in the course of me delivering this news to you, I'm going to continually check to see if we receive word of that lockdown being lifted. So unfortunately, there was a drowning on Saturday at the res. It was all on the Pearl River off the res. It happened at Ratliff Ferry, the Ratliff Ferry post on Pearl River, which is just north of Rankin County. I also have that on the map that I'm going to show to you. So we have the Pearl River right here. This is the Natchez Trace Parkway, and here is the Ratliff Ferry trading post where the drowning happened. So Rankin County coroner David Ruth has identified the victim in that drowning as 25-year-old Jordan Willis. Jordan is from Mendenhall. So according to Reservoir Police, Willis jumped off the back of a pontoon boat. However, witnesses told police that after entering the water, he did not resurface. Look, we told you that the drowning happened in the Ross Barnett Reservoir in Madison County, but officials say Willis went in the Pearl River up from Ratliff Ferry on the Rankin County side and was recovered there. The coroner, David Ruth, tells us that investigators have ruled this a accidental death by freshwater drowning. The investigation is still ongoing, and our hearts and prayers go out to the family of the victim, 25-year-old Jordan Willis. Then there was also multiple shootings that happened in Vicksburg this weekend. The Vicksburg Police Department is actually investigating 3 shootings that are all possibly connected to a domestic dispute. So about 4 a.m. yesterday, officers responded to Arcadia Street for reports of shots fired. While investigating, a second call came in reporting additional shots fired in the area of 2nd North Street. These incidents were determined to be connected shortly after officers responded to the hospital, where a 23-year-old black male arrived with gunshot wounds. Due to the severity of his injuries, he was later taken to Jackson for further treatment. A 19-year-old black female also suffered a graze wound to her ear. And this also, they're saying, could be connected to a shooting that happened earlier on Saturday morning. Anyone with any information in this is asked to contact the Vicksburg Police Department. And Vicksburg police are also investigating a shooting that took place in the parking lot of a Waffle House there. Authorities told 3 on Your Side that the shooting happened Saturday morning at the Waffle House on East Clay Street. 3 windows of the business and 2 vehicles were damaged by gunfire. The shootout reportedly took place as the vehicles were leaving the parking lot. There were several shell casings recovered from the scene. Thankfully, no injuries have been reported in this. And the Vicksburg Police Department says video footage is being reviewed. And of course, as with anything, if you have any information on this, please pass it along to the Vicksburg Police Department. Then in more news, there's a new motion that has been filed in the appeal for Carly Gregg. Carly Gregg is the then 14-year-old. She is now actually 16 years old, and she was sentenced and charged for murder the murder of her mother back in September of last year. She was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. So, attorneys for Gregg requested that documents that had actually been filed prior to her indictment, so prior to her even being indicted for murder, they're asking those files be added to the current appeal. So, the new motion to supplement the record on appeal is requesting to include what was been called a petition for interlocutory appeal, which was filed in the Supreme Court of Mississippi back in August of 2024. That appeal challenges the circuit court's order granting the state's motion for a mental evaluation and McNaughton analysis. If you're not familiar with what the McNaughton is, that is the basically the rule of which they define whether someone is guilty or not guilty by reason of temporary insanity. It's called the McNaughton rule. So, according to Carly Gregg's new attorney, James Murphy, there were some orders relating to mental evaluations that were in that initial motion that was filed, or the initial petition for the interlocutory appeal. So, James saying the reason why he is asking for those documents that were put in before she was indicted to be added to this appeal is so to make sure that everything that they could possibly use to support their argument in the Supreme Court is already included in the record. So the new motion, get me find my spot here. I apologize. Says that these documents are necessary for a full and complete understanding of the procedural and substantive history of the case and are material to the proper resolution of the appeal. Of course, we're still waiting to hear when the Supreme Court will hear Carly Gregg's case. We are continuing to follow it. And as soon as we get more info, more details into us here, we would definitely pass that information along to you. So there has been that new motion. Now we have to wait to see, will they grant that motion? Will they grant that request to add these documents to the appeal? We don't know. But when we get that information, we will certainly pass it along to you. And going to Humphrey counties now, where there are two men in custody after police found over 100 grams of illegal substances, guns, and money during a checkpoint traffic stop. So it happened last Friday evening as an investigator with the sheriff's office conducted a vehicle search on Highway 49 in Belzona. During the search, they found more than 100 grams of illegal substances, firearms, and over $3,000 in cash. The driver, Kendrick Cortez Prophet, which is here, he is the individual that is to the left, and his passenger, Ladarius Williams, the person on the right, they were both taken into custody in this drug bust. Put a lot of information out there to you before we look at our forecast, which I believe is supposed to be pretty pleasant this week. Before we look at that forecast, though, let's hear from our sponsors at Jxn Water. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Time for a neighborly tip from Jxn Water. Is it okay to pour fats, oils, and greases down the drain if I run hot water?
No!
What if I run the garbage disposal?
No!
How about if I use dish soap at the same time?
No!
Instead, hang on to a few containers to store and toss old cooking fat and grease once you're done. Jxn Water. Water for all the time.
And again, thank you to Jxn Water for sponsoring WLBT Plus. We do appreciate them very much. Well, let's look at our current temperatures right now going outside. It is a pretty warm day out there, looking in the mid 80s across our area. If we look at our current radar, you can see we don't have any rain in the area at this time. And if we look over the next 12 hours, you can see our rain chances are 0 over the next 12 hours. We're going to drop down to the mid 70s overnight. And then over the next 7 days, you can see it's a pretty nice week. Do have a higher chance of rain on a Thursday and Friday. but the temperatures are actually going to get up to be pretty warm today and tomorrow. As we go through the week, though, the temperatures drop slightly, just a little bit. But if you want to know the details of those rain chances and could we expect anything severe coming through, you won't be here at 2:30 today. Our first alert weather team will be here to give you the details on the forecast. And they'll also be able to tell you about the Vicksburg River, which is expected to actually crest today. We're going to take a live look through our sky cams over Vicksburg River, courtesy of the Riverwalk. This is where we're located at. And you can see exactly how high the water is there. So the National Weather Service projects that the river is going to crest at 49.5 feet, making it the highest peak in the Vicksburg gauge since 2020. The river first reached flood stage in the city 43 feet on April the 14th. The National Weather Service projects the river to stay at flood stay in Vicksburg until May the 6th, or around May the 6th. The river reached its record crest of 57.1 back in 2011. So thankfully, we're not going that high. But it did crest at 49.5 feet today. As you can see here on our sky cam, just how high the river is there. Hopefully it drops down quickly. Of course, they say they're not expecting that to happen until May the 6th, but our first alert weather team will be able to give you all the details on that at 2:30 today, so make sure you're here for them then. And there was a new Miss Teen Mississippi, or Miss Mississippi teen, crowned in Vicksburg over the weekend. Her name is Ashley McNair, and she is set to graduate from Simpson Academy next week. So this is the 20th year for the Miss Mississippi Teen program. 21 ladies competed for the title. After the top 11 were announced, each competed in fitness, evening wear, on-stage question, and talent. McNair says that she is thrilled to begin the journey of representing Mississippi as Miss America's Teen, and she is planning on attending Mississippi State in the fall. So congratulations to her. And over the weekend, there was a couple of a couple of things that happened here in the capital city. One of them being an event called Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. So it is a National Sexual Assault Awareness Month. A local nonprofit organized the march to help spread awareness about this issue. Butterflies by Grace, designed by Faith, organized the march, and they are the local nonprofit geared towards spreading awareness to domestic violence in their community. Sexual assault victims spoke out and shared their story to the crowd, and the march was led by a local marching band. For men that participated, they were instructed to either wear high heels or carry them to symbolize what it is like to live the life of a woman and walk in their shoes.
And so we're today, we standing in solidarity with all the survivors, and you are not alone in this. And so that's why we have these shoes out here, and let them know, when you have heels on, most time those heels hurt. So if you have not walked in someone's shoes, you don't know how they feel.
So if you would like to get involved with spreading awareness to sexual assault, Denim Day 2025 is coming up on April the 30th, and the event will be held at the Hyatt Place in Jackson. And the event's all about bringing awareness to this issue and also helping to support survivors. And there was another march in the capital city. It was a Stop the Gun Violence March, where youth from the capital city led the march promoting change in the community. This happened on Saturday. So dozens showed up outside of JPD's precinct where our youth marched together to promote anti-gun violence in the community. Jackson police officers and some nonprofits marched alongside the kids to show that they stand with them in prompting change. The youth-led march ended at Sykes Park, where speakers like Chief Joseph Wade, judges from around the city, and of course the youth spoke about how they want to see more action instead of just words. Organizers that helped them set up this march say that they are looking for action to promote long-term change in the city.
Today's message is it's time to stop saving our communities and start serving our communities. We are long gone with the days of quick fixes. We are looking for long-term solutions and strategies to combat crime in our communities.
So, and actually, the school band that was there marching with this was the Jim Hill High School marching band. They set the tone for the march as they went in stride all the way to Sykes Park. Which, of course, as we open the show today, Jim Hill High School is the school that was placed on temporary lockdown earlier today due to shooting that or rather gunshots that happened outside of the school. Let me look and see if we have any updates on whether or not the lockdown has been lifted. We don't have any updates from that just yet. Let me make sure. No. So to go back to that, if you guys are just tuning in, so you know what we're talking about with Jim Hill High School, the school sent out a notice earlier today saying, out of an abundance of caution, Jim Hill High School has been placed on a temporary lockdown due to an external threat. During the lockdown, no students will be dismissed, and all students and staff are safe inside of their classrooms. There's no injuries reported with this lockdown, despite there being some reports circulating on social media that there were injuries. The school system does anticipate the lockdown to be lifted shortly and will provide more details once the investigation is complete. So the email was sent out. Let me double check here. Here we go. The email was initially sent out shortly after 12 today. So it looks at 12:20 today. We did go out there. We did have crews out there. There were a lot of parents outside that were very anxious to get their children. Unfortunately, though, because the school is on lockdown, they will not be able to get their kids until the lockdown has lifted. Like I said, at this time, it has not been lifted, but we are watching and waiting. And as soon as we receive information on it being lifted, we will certainly pass that information along to you through our news app and on social media. So make sure you download the WLBT3 on your side news app so you can get those notifications. Again, there are no injuries reported, and it appears that what happened, what some witnesses told Holly Emery, she was out there earlier, what they were told is that the shootings happened outside down near where the ROTC building is for Jim Hill High School. And I'm going to pull Jim Hill back up on the map for you guys so you can see where it is. And here we go. The triangle area is where Jim Hill is. We have Highway 80 here at the bottom of your screen. If I come up a little, you can see we have I-20 right there. And as I zoom out, here is Jackson, approximately the downtown Jackson area on the right side of your screen. We have Jim Hill High School right here towards the left. So again, thankfully, no injuries have been reported at this time. And we don't believe that there will be any injuries reported for any of the students or the staff inside the building. As soon as that lockdown is lifted, though, we will alert you through our news app. So make sure you have that downloaded. All right, guys, that is going to be the end of WLBT Plus for me today. I will be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Make sure you join me then. Our First Alert Weather Team will be here at 2:30 today to give you a look at the forecast and let you know more about what we can expect with those showers that are coming through on Thursday and Friday, as well as give you an update on the Mississippi River. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.